Welcome back to the podcast, Meredith with a Y. I am your host, Meredith Willits, and today I promised you I would be talking to you about manifestation. And it's killing me because I don't want to talk about that because I want to talk about what's going on in the world. But if I told you I was going to talk about Manifestation Week, darn it, that must be what you need to hear. So stay with me. Hello, everyone. This is Meredith with a Y, and I am your host, Meredith Willits. Today, we are going to go deep, changing lives, and I am giving you the keys to the castle. Okay, so manifestation. Let's talk about it. I actually talked a lot to clients about getting rid of hope. I'm sure I've done a podcast probably in the first season about getting out of hope and instead into faith, because hope, when you have hope about things, about something, about an outcome, hope is a human outcome that you are desiring for, that if you don't get it, then you're disappointed. And so often before we came to this planet, or even as young children, or even last week, we had a desire for something in our life. And there are certain steps, whether we know it or not, that are going to need to be taken to get to that desired outcome. Okay. So you had a dream. You had an idea of something that you wanted your life to look or feel like. And then in the interim, in the short term, the way to get there might not look like what you believe it should look like. And so we become disappointed. Okay. So I just want to kind of set that stage. So what I tell people is to get out of hope, because you don't always know what is big picture, long-term part of the path best for you. I have a friend right now, and she's going through some housing issues, that she's had this desire for this one type of looking house. And she was going to take a house that she didn't really like, and it didn't work out. And it's causing grief. It's causing strife in her life because she's going through a lot of problems and difficulties. But I told her, the path to get what you really want might not look the way you think it should look. It might look different. The timing might be different than what you might have thought that timing would be. It might look strange to you. And so manifestation and hope, they kind of go hand in hand a little bit. And so I really wanted to get into some deep dive here on the dynamics of manifestation, because I want you to have a bigger picture view. I wanted you to have a very, clear understanding of what we're talking about here and what you're getting into when you're trying to manifest something. So everyone always says, you can manifest abundance, a loving relationship, a happy life. These are these really great, vague sort of manifestation ideas, focuses, points of attraction, abundance, right? So when I was in Costa Rica, I was talking about the fact that, I'm like, well, I don't make as much money as some people make, but my abundance, the quality of my life, what I get paid for while I do work, the fact that my life is abundant, that what I do, I enjoy. I have pure happiness doing what I do. There's never strife. There's never discomfort. I have pure joy in what I do for a living. And not many people can say that. And so my abundance comes in many ways. It comes in the form of happiness and, blessings and helping people, and also financial. So that's what I want it to look like. And so if I were asking for abundance, I got it, right? And so once you feel that abundance, you may have to get a little deeper in recognizing specifically what you're looking for. It might be something that you need to do. I actually had a client and I told her to get real clear about what she was manifesting as far as a partner in her life. I said, write down everything. Spiritual, kind to, wait staff, good relationship with parents, tall, dark, handsome, whatever, the whole list, right? And she calls me and she said, well, I got everything on my list that you told me to write down. She got real clear about what she wanted, but she had kind of a phobia about a characteristic on this person, and they had that characteristic. And I'm like, well, I told you to be specific. And you forgot about that one. So back to the drawing board. And I'm sure there were other things that she just hadn't realized yet, of course, So when you're working on manifestation, it's important to get clear. And part of manifestation is the getting clear process. I had a client today and I told them, I said, instead of just dating willy-nilly, why don't you get clear on what it is about a partner in your life that you're looking for? Instead of playing whack-a-mole out there with dating, start to go deep. And I told them, I said, hire slow, fire fast, meaning get to know them, take your time. But once you realize it's not a fit, get out, because you're wasting your time getting to the person that you probably do want to be with. And so if you have something that you want, let's say you're trying to manifest a house, get clear. You can't be too selfish here. You can't be too stingy. Don't be afraid. I want it to feel like this. I want it to have good schools. I want my kids to be able to play in a safe yard. I want there to be 2 bathrooms. Get clear. We're clear about so much in our life. This is the degree I want to get in college. This is the job that I want to get. These are the hours I want to work. This is how far away from my job I want to live. But we don't get clear about our partners in life and what we're looking for. It's like we leave it up to this weird chance, or that if we ask too much, we're being stingy or selfish or not leaving it up to fate. Why don't we leave our job up to fate? We don't. We plan it. Why don't we leave vacation up to fate? Oh, just wherever the wind takes me. We don't do that. We plan it because we want to experience it in a very specific way. We don't lose our minds. At least you guys probably don't. I might lose my mind if it doesn't go the right way. My freaking Christmas trip to Quebec, that was interesting, but I digress. So we plan everything in life. We plan dates, we plan our week, we have a calendar, but then our futures and our partners and the way we want our life to look, we just kind of think that, the tail's wagging the dog on those, and that's okay. But it doesn't have to be that way. Don't be afraid to be selfish. It's a good thing. Get real stingy. When I talk to people who feel lost in their life, they don't know who they are, they've lost who they are, either due to a relationship or COVID or whatever. This is good advice. So if you're lost or you're trying to figure out what the heck you're doing with your life, this is in line with the manifestation. but it's also what I tell my clients. Say, go to the store and get yourself a notebook. I I like pretty notebooks, so I like to spend the $10, right? I do the Target notebook or something cute. And divide the notebook into 4 parts. And the first part, start writing down. I might have told you guys this last week. I'm not sure. Divide the notebook into who you are. Um, so on the right side, you're going to write what it is that you want. Maybe your partner's one way and you prefer him to be more patient or go for more walks with you or whatever it is. And you can do this with each section of your career, of your home, your future, your life, etc. So this writing down is a form of this getting clear for manifestation process. You're getting clear. You're taking the time to write it down, put it on paper. It's like a vision board, but writing it down. This is the first step. Actually, it's probably the third step because you had to imagine it, right? You had to imagine in your mind's eye, what is it that I'm looking for? What is it about a house that I'm interested in, or an apartment, or a farm, or a tiny home, or maybe being a nomad? Maybe that's what you're looking for. I want complete freedom. I want to be in a Sprinter van or a bus. It has to start someplace. And then as you get it down on paper, it gets more and more clear. What kind of van do you want to live in? Where do you want to travel? Is this through Europe? Is it through the United States? Through Canada? Where are you going in it? Who are you going to go with? Are you going to have a cat or a dog? You see how this is working? You see how we're getting more and more clear? The idea of traveling on a bus as you're listening to me either sounds repulsive or interesting. Your body's telling you, like, no, that is not for me. No, thank you. As I talk about a 6-bedroom house, maybe that sounds too small. Maybe it seems overwhelming. But at least this is flexing this manifestation muscle of what is it do I want from my life? What is it that I want? And so I'm going to get real clear about it. There's some other really fun things that you can do with regard to manifesting that I talk with clients about. For those of you that don't know, I do life coaching and spiritual counseling and psychic work and all the good stuff. But one fun one, because water is very healing and it's also very visceral, is I like to stand in the shower and imagine and know that my life is the way that it is right now. And then I take 2 steps out of the water and imagine all of my life just kind of falling to the shower floor. And then as I'm standing outside of the water, I imagine all the things that I do want to manifest for my life. Good health, happy kids, good relationship with my husband, successful career. And then I hold that thought, I hold that energy and step back into the water and imagine that I'm entering that timeline of my life, the most highest vibrational timeline that I can step into at this moment. Because there's some things that we're just not ready for. I mean, 6 years ago, I was not ready to do a podcast. I would have just sat here stammering and not know what to say. There's some things in life that you just can't get to yet because you're just not ready. You're not ready for the criticism. You're not ready for the commitment. My husband tells me all the time, thank God you didn't know me in college. It would have never worked. And I tell people that all the time when they come to me about finding their soulmate or their partner in life. I'm like, you're not ready to find that person right now. You're a disaster. You're a mess. You know that. I know that. We know that. And guess what? Your partner is going to know that too. And they're going to run for the hills. You're not ready yet. So there's parts of this manifestation that goes back to the beginning of this conversation, which is you have to take the journey. You have to take the road that gets you there, even if that road looks weird. My road to get here was through breast cancer. Would I have preferred to become this confident person who understands much more in life and been able to figure that out by way of not going through breast cancer? Sure. Sign me up. Sign me up for the margaritas in Turks and Caicos route to become this person versus breast cancer. But that's not the way it's working out. It's not the way it happened. I had to take this path. This was what was going to get me here. And so I had a dream about my life, and my higher self said, all right, let's do this. She's going to have to take this path if she wants to get there. If she wants to talk with people that are suffering with cancer or loss, she might need to go through this to have full perspective. She can't talk to people about divorce unless she's been divorced. How is she going to counsel people with older children? This is going to help her to have perspective. And so the journey might not look, and the timing might not look the way you thought it was going to look. But if you have a dream, how you get there is okay too. And so we have to be super patient with the journey. We have to understand that the timing might not be today, that there's some stuff that we still need to learn. There's some experiences that we still need to have. And as we manifest, as we have dreams and desires in life, the beauty in the path, in the journey, in the frustrations and not being ready yet, and the timeline, suffering creates a stagnation, if you will. So let's say I want to buy a really nice house down the street, and I want to sell my house to buy that house. And it's not selling, and it's not selling, and it's not selling. But the big picture is my higher self, the universe, knows that the house that I want to buy is not a good decision for me. And so instead of making me buy the house and maybe lose money or a bad investment, my house just doesn't sell. So as my house doesn't sell, I have two choices. I could surrender to the process and the path, or I can be very angry, be short-tempered with my family, be frustrated with the process and myself, be angry with my husband that it's not selling, be upset with my realtor and call them and tell them they're not doing a good job. Right? That sounds like the normal human. That's how the normal human works its way out, by being angry at the process. But what I'm here to tell you is your life will be much, much better if you surrender to the process, surrender to the timeline, surrender to the way that the path twists and turns and takes you around the lake, knowing that it's all happening for your highest self's good, because it doesn't always look the way you think it's going to look. It just doesn't. And so you can suffer and choose to suffer. Why isn't this house selling? Our realtor's an asshole. Or we can go, must be saving me from something. I'm not ready to have a TV show today because I got more to learn. I need thicker skin. I got to be ready for the hate. I got to be ready for the turmoil, right? And until I'm ready, if I rush it, I won't be ready and I'll lose it because I won't be at the frequency that is necessary for what I'm trying to manifest. And so this is going to also keep you out of suffering, is to understand and surrender to the process. Understanding there is a process. The other way to manifest is, and I'm going to talk about things to manifest before I'm done here too. So, because I want to talk about that. I think that's super important. Is people, again, use water. You fill up a glass and use a Sharpie marker and write words on the glass of things that you're trying to manifest: health, happiness, abundance, maybe a new home, a new career, a promotion. You know, I was just seeing in my mind's eye that someone's listening to this and they're waiting for a promotion, and someone else gets the promotion, but what they don't understand, they're mad about it. But what they don't understand is that they're going to get the better promotion. They're going to get a different position that's even better for them with regard to the hours. That's how these things work, guys. You are not getting the promotion because you're going to get something that's even better for you. And so between not getting the promotion at this job you really, really wanted, but you don't realize how bad of a job it is, instead, you're going to get this other position. So let's say there's a year between when those two things happen. And in that year, you basically burn the thing down, right? You're mad at everybody. You're bitching all the time. You hate your job. You hate your boss. You hate the manager that got promoted. Why me? Or you can go, boy, must have been saved for something. Let's wait. Let's sit back and watch it. Let's sit back and wait and see what that looks like. This is exciting. How fun is this? Or you can suffer for a year. Isn't that a better way to live? Having faith in the process, surrendering truly to whatever is, recognizing it's always working for your greatest good. How cool is that? How exciting is that? I love it. So as you're writing this on the side of your glass, health, happiness, good relationships, joy, a healed body, a healed mind, a healthy, healthy mental health, good mental health, then you let that water sit in that glass overnight so that it attains the frequencies of the words that you just wrote on the side of the glass. I use this all the time in some of the other work that I do. Your name and birthday is you on a piece of paper, just so you know. And when you wake up in the morning, drink that glass of water. I just heard about 3 people in my head that I was listening to this, maybe more, go, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. I like that. That's a TikTok. I think that was a TikTok trick that I saw that. Yeah, it was. It was a video that I saw that, and I really liked it. I really liked that because it's so physical, right? It's a tool. I love it. I love tools. I love visuals. I love physical things that I can do. I'm not big into like saging my house, or, I don't do a lot of these rituals that people do. I'm too ADD for any sort of keeping up on a ritual. Like, it's just not going to happen. But I do love a good tool. I do love a good visual. It helps me really put my hand on the stove and learn it. It helps me get it. And I love that. And you could do this with anything, piece of paper. I love the idea of water, though. because it really does attain the frequency of the words that you're writing. So make sure and write it in the positive too. Never write any list in the negative. The universe doesn't understand not. The universe understands healthy. The universe doesn't understand not sick. So always write everything in a positive frame. That'll help you. Like when you pray, pray in the positive. When you think about somebody, think about them in the positive. We work on that in our house, like, don't forget your homework. Instead, remember your homework. So that's, going to be helpful. So for me, because my career, my life seems to be going in a good forwardly motion, I am attaining the things that I want for my life. I have a bigger problem, and some of you may also, is that I know certain things that I want to do, but I have a feeling all the time that I can't wrap my head around what it is that I'm supposed to do. I do not believe that what I am supposed to do is this for the rest of my life. I do believe that it's going to transform in some way. Okay. So what do you do when you can't visualize, you can't comprehend what it is that you want because you don't know what it is that you want? Or if you think you know what you want, maybe that's not what's best for you. Maybe I want a TV show. Maybe I want a talk show, but maybe that's not what's best for me. So I'm going to spend all of this time and energy wishing and wanting and squeezing, but it's not really what I want. And so what do you do then? What do you do when you can't visualize or write down what you want because you don't know? That's weird, right? But I know I want something. I know I'm working towards something, but what? What is it? For me, it has to more like be an everyday stepping stone. Like, oh, I'm just going to do this today. I'm just going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep walking until someone tells me to turn left. I mean, you could write down characteristics of like, I want freedom. I don't want to have to ask for a day off. If I want to go someplace, I want to make enough money to support myself and have, vacations and travel. I want to be able to see the world. I want to be able to help people all the time. I want to be able to reach mass amounts of people. I want to help people be better humans and make it through this process much simpler than we make it. But I don't really know what it is. And so I was having the idea of surrendering to the unknown, but that feels weird because I'm a visual person. So I decided that this unknown energy of my future, of helping people and having freedom and touching the masses, I decided to change that energy and place all of it inside of a red rose in my mind's eye, because I needed to put it someplace. And I didn't want it to have parameters around it. Maybe you would do this with, quote, a good life. You know what a good life is when you get there, right? You know what that's going to feel like. You're going to be content. Not going to be running around with this stupid grin on your face all the time, but you're going to be content. But maybe you don't know how it's going to play out. Maybe you don't know what a good life, how that plays out. Maybe because you've grown up in West Virginia, or you've grown up in, Lithuania. That's all you know. So how would you even know how to dream of something different? Maybe all you know is California. You don't even know how to dream about British Columbia. How can you work on a manifestation that you don't even know exists? Maybe all you know is bad relationships. How can you manifest a good one outside of, I know I want a good life and to have a partner that it loves and respects and is loyal to me, who hears me, who listens to me. I don't know what that really looks like. I just kind of know that it'll feel a certain way. This is, you guys, this is manifesting bigger than your human 3D reality can take you. This is next level manifestation. This is bigger than I want to manifest a new car. Which, by the way, my daughter Skylar, she manifested a whole couch. She manifests stuff that it is just unbelievable. She just knows what she wants and then somehow it shows up. It is crazy to me. But I'm at the level in my desire to manifest the unknown because I'm incapable of comprehending exactly what it is that I even am dreaming about. I don't even know what it is. I just know what it's going to feel like. And because of the fact that I'm always searching around my mind's eye, trying to figure out what it is, that's exhausting. And so I'm leaving it up to the universe and saying, I want to manifest whatever is at my greatest and highest good for myself, for my family, and for the whole world. I'm not going to try and quantify it. I just know that it's high frequency, it's high vibration, it's deep in love. And so I'm kind of okay without manifesting something specific. I think it's almost more interesting that way. It's kind of like giving it to God, giving it to the universe. It's like throwing the ball up to your higher self and say, hey, you know more than me. You know more than me. I'm just this 3D reality down here, living in a meat suit. The heck do I know? I only know the day by day. I'm going to give it up to my higher self. Here's the ball. Do what you got to do. Take me where you need to take me. Work it out. It's gotten me this far. Honestly, I would have never dreamed I'd be having a successful podcast and a business the way I do. I never would have dreamed in a million years that I would have over 500,000 TikTok followers. Never. So why try to figure it out now? Why try to squeeze it out now? I'm going to throw the ball up and let my higher self catch it. It's on you. You got the baton. Go for it. I'm out. Right? How cool is that? Leave it up to the big guys and gals up there. Let them figure it out. I'll just keep walking forward. Oh, time to record another podcast. Time to have another client. Time to put out another video. It makes my life much less difficult by just putting my foot on the next stepping stone, not trying to have it all figured out. I don't need to figure it all out. Let's just go with today. Trying to figure it all out for tomorrow, that's anxiety. Shit, I could barely make through the day. I mean, I'm recording this podcast. It's 1:43 on a Thursday. And I thought my son's dance was on Friday from 6 to 8. It's tonight. I mean, I've got my husband's work calendar, not like his day to day, but for White Sox games. My calendar, which is steeped deep in crap. My daughter's softball calendar, my son's 2 baseball team calendars. Used to have hockey on there. Birthdays, anniversary. I mean, I'm lucky I know where I'm going every day. And now I'm going to try to figure out like my future. No, I'm not doing it. Do you think I thought when I was 20, how old was I? 28, 29 when I met Jim, that I was going to meet a guy that was like from Iowa working for the Cleveland Indians who just happened to be living there for, I don't even know, a year. Like, that wasn't in my plan. I didn't manifest that. Maybe I did a little bit. I just want a guy to be nice, kind, good to my kids. I'm leaving it up to chance a little bit. As much as I can, honestly. Lets me be a little bit more present. But you can still have fun with it. Step out and step into your highest good timeline. Drink the water of health and happiness, joy and love. And then leave the rest up to your higher self. Just keep stepping on those stepping stones. What do you want it to feel like? What do you want your partner to embrace about you? Be accepting of you. Leave it vague a little bit for those, you know? Because I would have been like, oh, I want to marry a guy that's, lives in Cleveland. No, I wasn't in the plan. Instead, I've moved all over the country. How cool is that? How lucky am I? I didn't know that I was signing up for this, but it's working out. It's making me grow as a person. Don't be afraid to get specific. Say that 3 times fast. But also don't be afraid to throw it up to your higher self. Encapsulate it in a heart, in your mind's eye. This is what I want my future to look like. Feel like. Always think about the emotion. Think about words like freedom, expansion, joy. And that'll help you. Thanks so much for listening to the podcast this week. I really appreciate each and every one of you. If you haven't left a review, please go do so now. It really helps me out. If you know someone that would benefit from listening to this podcast about manifestation, please send it to them. But I really appreciate you guys so very much. There is a new patron link on the show notes. It can also be found on my website. It's $35 a month to be a patron of this podcast. I do pay for the editing and show notes and all of that out of my own pocket every single month. So anything that you can give to or sign up to help for that would be much appreciated. The $35 gives you free Zoom with Meredith every other Wednesday. It also gives you a percentage off of all your one-on-one appointments with me. And it also gives you a percentage off of any webinars that I host. So check that out. That's on meredithwillits.com, but you can also find that in the show notes. But thank you guys so much for listening, and I'll see you here next week. Thanks for listening. If you would like to connect on a more personal level, head over to meredithwillits.com or on Instagram at Meredith with a Y for behind-the-scene footage and outtakes. Please subscribe and come back each week for more Meredith with a Y. Thanks again for listening. Cheers.